Happening now, we have the latest on a Dunkirk shooting that sent one to the hospital. And a sneak peek into a charity golf tournament coming in 2 weeks. Plus, take me out to the ball game as we watch self-proclaimed Tarp Skunk superfan get his wildest dreams.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Bronson Rasmussen. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, a Jamestown resident with several felony warrants for breaking into properties was apprehended Tuesday night. Jamestown Police Department responded to a call about a suspicious person at an East 4th Street business at around 10:49 p.m. Tuesday evening. After checking the area, 23-year-old Justin Rowe was discovered about 1 block away. Now the 23-year-old initially ignored commands to stop, and after a brief foot chase, was taken into custody. Now he had several felony warrants stemming from vehicle thefts prior to last night's incident. Rowe is now charged with identity theft in the 3rd degree, criminal possession of stolen property in the 4th degree, grand larceny, also in the 4th degree, in addition to resisting arrest. The felony offender was transported to the Jamestown City Jail, where he is now being held pending arraignment. Police urge residents to keep their car doors locked to help avoid future incidents. A recent Dunkirk shooting left one person struck and hospitalized yesterday afternoon. The Dunkirk Police Department were called to the Maple Avenue and East 6th Street area in the city of Dunkirk at around 4:25 p.m. Officers say that the confrontation was amongst people who most likely knew each other, making the situation a personal one. The victim was promptly taken to Brooks Memorial Hospital and later transported by Mercy Flight to Erie Community Medical Center. The Dunkirk Police Department is asking anyone with information to please contact them at 716-366-2266 or on the confidential tip line at 716-363-0313. An abandoned Dunkirk home went up in flames very early this morning. Crews were called to 532 Columbus Avenue in the city of Dunkirk at around 12:05 a.m. Upon arrival, responders discovered the back of one of the story houses was engulfed in flames. The crew was able to get the blaze under control quickly and avoid any stray flames from spreading to neighboring homes. However, a nearby shed did face some damages. Now, no one was harmed as part of this incident, but the Chautauqua County Fire Investigation Team has ruled the cause an incendiary in nature, turned over to the Dunkirk Police Department for investigation. Now, as the structure was vacant and boarded up, the cause of this fire is now under investigation for its incendiary nature. Departments in South Carolina are searching for a Jamestown fugitive, Michael Burham, following a confrontation with officers Tuesday morning. Officers with the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office responded to reports of a suspicious male in the area of Broomstraw Hill Road in Andronaut at around 11 a.m. Tuesday morning. Now, deputies had located the subject and attempted to make contact. The subject, later identified as Burham, gave a false name, then fled on foot. Officers tried to pursue the subject, but lost sight. He did, however, drop a bag with contents revealing Burham's identity. He was last seen wearing a gray shirt with blue and white shorts. Now, Burham is believed to be armed and very dangerous, and as of time of reporting, there is no update. However, he is being searched for intensely by ground and air through multiple police agencies. While switching gears a little bit, we'll get a first check of our first weather defense forecast with Chief Forecaster Andrew Stevenson. And in your world, it's been pretty boring lately.
It's been quiet, and it's going to be quiet, and it looks like it's going to be quiet today. Yes, we have a cold front that's in the process of moving through the region. It's actually up across the Niagara frontier. It will continue to sack its way south through the afternoon, but we're not going to get much rain out of it. If there is any rain showers, they'll be found off to the east of this, and mainly we're just going to get some cloud cover across the far southwestern portion of western New York and southern tier, northwestern Pennsylvania. Again, most of the rain will be found off to our east. Let's take a look at the almanac for today. We made it to a high of 74 degrees in the city. Our low for yesterday was 50 degrees. Our record high 89 degrees set back in 1991 and a record low of 29 set back a few years ago in 2015. So here is your first defense forecast for the rest of the afternoon. Clouds are currently on the increase out ahead of that cold front. Then that cold front is going to move through over the next few hours, maybe a couple of showers with that. But as quickly as that cold front moves through, as quickly as it's going to leave, and behind the cold front should break out in some sunshine after that in the later afternoon hours. Highs today are occurring right now in upper 60s, lower 70s. They will drop to the 60s and eventually drop to the 50s behind the cold front later this afternoon with a northwest wind of 8 to 15 miles per hour today. I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Andrew, we'll see you then. As WNY News Now continues, we look at a ceremony held in Albany honoring fallen emergency workers. And later, all eyes are at the Capitol, where officials are trying to hash out a plan for debt before it is too late. Stay with us, as WNY News Now will be right back.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
On this episode of Lead and Lures, pro staffer and lethal lady Caitlin Armstrong takes out her big Ohio buck. Months of hard work, dedication, and scouting have led her to this moment. You're not going to want to miss this episode of Lead and Lures on Channel 716 Roku TV. And if you want to see more of Caitlin Armstrong, follow her on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
Hunting
Caitlin
on
Armstrong.
private land has been quite the experience.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
In Albany, the state honors fallen emergency medical service workers. Now our New York State Capitol correspondent Elise Klein breaks down highlights of the ceremony and talks to the family of the honorees about really what this memorial means to them.
Today at the state's 19th annual Emergency Medical Services Memorial Ceremony, 8 EMS workers who died as a result of injuries or illnesses incurred in the line of duty were honored.
We need to think of all the patients they served, the wisdom they shared. We need to think, how can we continue to remember them?
The honorees were added to the state's Tree of Life Memorial, joining more than 100 other names. And Governor Kathy Hochul says their service will never be forgotten.
Who are we without them? Who's there to protect us? Who helps us?
Governor Hochul also issued a proclamation to recognize May 21st through May 27th as Emergency Medical Services Week. Rosemary Chatterton, wife of honoree Richard Chatterton, says her husband loved working for EMS.
He lived it every day. He was always the first person to respond, whether he was on duty, off duty, it didn't matter. He was always there, giving of himself all the time.
Following the ceremony, family members and fellow EMS workers laid flowers on the memorial. In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
Attorneys for former President Donald Trump are requesting a meeting with U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland. It's about the investigation into Trump's alleged mishandling of classified documents and efforts to obstruct the 2020 election. In a letter sent to Garland Tuesday, Trump's attorneys said the meeting is to discuss the, quote, ongoing injustice against the former president, claiming that, quote, no president of the United States has ever been so basely investigated in such an outrageous and unlawful fashion, end quote. Trump posted the letter on his social media platform Truth Social Tuesday evening. Now this comes as special counsel Jack Smith appears to be in the final stretch of his investigations. It's unclear if Smith has interviewed Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, a potential key witness, or when he might release his findings and decide on any charges. Now the U.S. Justice Department declined to comment on the letter. Well, the Pennsylvania State Police and National Policing Institute highlighted findings from a comprehensive traffic study case. The study examined data collected from over 440,000 trooper-initiated stops in 2022. Now our PA State Capitol correspondent Brendan Scanlon has more on the study.
The goal of this project is to identify patterns and trends in traffic stops and outcomes to increase the equity and safety for motorists and for troopers.
Dr. Robin Engel is the Senior Vice President of the National Policing Institute, an independent nonprofit research organization. Pennsylvania State Police were among the first agencies to voluntarily collect traffic stop information after partnering with Engel in 1999. Engel says findings from last year, especially traffic stop outcomes based on race, should inspire confidence among residents and motorists.
Race does not play a determining factor on whether or not a stopped motorist is issued a citation, a warning, or arrested.
The report also looks closely at vehicle searches and seizures of illegal drugs and other contraband.
54% of discretionary searches result in a seizure. This is in fact one of the highest success rates for searches that I have seen in the country.
Much of the data show promise, but Engel says there is still room for improvement.
We still have some unexplained racial and ethnic disparities in search and seizures, but this is decreasing over time.
We have to work on always continually getting better.
State Police Commissioner Colonel Chris Paris says the results of the study will help improve training, policy, and frontline supervision.
We want troopers that are out there enforcing the law, regardless of class, color, creed, or condition.
President Joe Biden will mark a somber day anniversary today. 1 year ago, a lone gunman entered a school and opened fire, killing 19 students and 2 teachers. These 21 lives were lost in the Robb Elementary School shooting 1 year ago. Now, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has ordered the state flag to be lowered to half-staff on Wednesday to honor the victims, survivors, loved ones, and the community affected by the rampage. Some of the families are demanding accountability for the failed police response. Joe Biden, who along with the First Lady visited the area after the shooting. They will speak about the tragedy from the White House Grand Staircase. Now, according to the Gun Violence Archive, these have been 238 mass shootings in the U.S. so far this year, with nearly 17,000 total gun violence deaths, more than half of them suicides. Now, police killed the gunman more than an hour after he began shooting. About a month later after the rampage, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act was passed by Congress and was signed into the law by President Biden. Well, the approval of the Supreme Court is definitely declining. Well, that's according to a recent poll by Marquis Law School. It's found approval of the High Court stands at 41%, with 59% disapproving. That's a 6% decline since January. The latest survey conducted in May comes after several ethics complaints and controversies surrounding the justices. But some of the court's decisions last year, like reversing nationwide abortion rights, could have also contributed to the lower approval rating. As for this term, the justices have yet to issue opinions on most of the high-profile cases, including ones on LGBTQ rights, student debt relief, and affirmative action. Well, the clock is ticking for Congress and the president to reach an agreement on the debt ceiling before the June 1st deadline. And as of reporting, the Speaker of the House and the president continue to negotiate a deal that both sides can agree on. Following a meeting last night between the president and the speaker, the president released a statement saying in part that default is off the table and the only way to move forward in good faith towards a bipartisan agreement. Now, Biden adds while there are areas of disagreement, they'll continue to discuss the path forward. The Treasury Department warns that come June 1st, that the federal government would no longer have enough money to pay all of its bills, which would cause a default. The U.S. has never defaulted before, but it would cripple the EU's economy and possibly push borrowing costs even higher. Speaker McCarthy says that the hard line is on spending. They've been pushing to trim down the staggering $31.5 trillion in debt. The White House would say if there are close to an agreement on debt ceiling. They did say negotiations are still ongoing, but also productive.
Over the past week, the president's negotiating team has proposed options to reduce the deficit that both parties can support, while also making clear that there are fundamental priorities that must be protected in this process.
We should pull back money that's been wasted. We should help people get jobs by having work requirements. We've seen that work time and again. We should find ways that we cap the amount of spending going outlay because the Democrats had spent so much. Even Joe Manchin had thought of that idea of a 1% cap going forward.
Now, Speaker McCarthy says even if an agreement is reached soon, it will still take Congress a couple of days to vote on the debt ceiling. The Speaker wants to finalize the agreement before the week is over. Well, coming up, we look into a charity golf game coming in 2 weeks. And later, we join the Jamestown Tarp Skunks as a self-proclaimed superfan gets a huge surprise. But first, we return with a look at our full weather forecast.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Mackermites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, channel 716.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Currently in downtown Jamestown, we're under partly sunny skies, but the clouds are building in right now. The current temperature at Jamestown Airport as of the noon hour is 68 degrees with a northwest wind of 13 miles per hour. Here's what's happening across the northeast right now. We got a low pressure system off to our north and east that's dragging a cold front through the region, but most of the moisture associated with this front is found closer to where the low pressure system is. So back here across western New York, most of us will just see an increasing cloud cover and cooler temperatures behind our front. Let's take a look where those temperatures are going over the next few hours. Around 1 o'clock, we should be in the upper 60s, close to 70, but by the time the cold front's moving through and then over the next few hours, it'll drop to around 65 at 2, lower 60s for 3 and 4 o'clock, and then by the time this evening rolls around 5 and 6 o'clock, the temperatures will be dropping into the mid-50s. Here's what's timed out on future scan. For the rest of the afternoon, future scan will show you that cold front moving through with just an increasing cloud cover across southwestern, the southern tier, but as quickly as that cold front moves through, we should begin breaking into some sunshine this evening, and we should go mainly clear skies skies overnight tonight. High pressure will begin to build back and across the region tomorrow, and that's going to provide mostly sunny skies across the region tomorrow, although it will be pretty cooler than it was today, and then we'll stay dry through tomorrow night and into the day on Friday, with more mostly sunny skies expected through the day on Friday. So let's take a look at that big holiday weekend coming up. It's going to be a nice weekend out there for Saturday, mostly sunny skies with temperatures in the lower 70s. We'll go to mid-upper 70s for both Sunday and Monday, and we'll continue with a dry, sunny weather for the holiday weekend. And now the rest of that forecast powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. Again, for tomorrow, a little cooler with temperatures only upper 50s, close to 60. Friday, we're in the mid-60s, and after the low to mid-70s on Saturday and Sunday, we might make it into the lower 80s for Monday and Tuesday next week. High pressure is going to build in and just park itself across the region, providing an extended period of more dry weather.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much. And I bet a lot of people looking to get out there Memorial Day are pretty happy with you. Well, changing things up a bit, we are joined here today with David Manella talking about a charity golf tournament coming up in 2 weeks. What can you tell us about this?
Well, thank you very much for having us and bringing attention to our event. The Italian American Charity Golf Association has been putting on this event. This is actually our 53rd year, 52nd year of the actual tournament. We obviously lost 1 year because of the COVID. And it's just become such a huge part of our community. Part of what really brings the community together is the fact that we are doing so much to give back. Over the years, we've now raised over $1.6 million that we donate towards the cancer care for our community. This features both UPMC Cancer Treatment Center and our recent venture with the Star Hospice House. And so we take what we have always felt very strongly about, bringing our community together for a good cause, and we make it into a competitive golf tournament, with a serious note that combines with it, and we just have a great time for a great cause.
And really, when it comes to this, how does it feel for you to be able to give back to the community and be able to really be out there?
It's something that I'm very, very passionate about, and the individuals who have been part of this event for so many years, like myself, understand why this is so important to us. It all started really back when the tournament was first formed by a group of 13 individuals. One of those individuals happened to be my father. So it's been passed on to myself and my brother, who served for many years on the committee as well. But I believe now this is my 31st year that I've been on the committee. So it just stands to reason that my passion is as strong as it's ever been, because I feel very strongly about giving back to our community. And when I'm able to take a nice big check down to these locations, it's just kind of money over to them.
And really, this all kicks off in 2 weeks, right?
Yes. So on June 7th, we have what we have been doing as part of our kickoff banquet, which is usually held at St. John's, but we've had to make a change this year, and we're going to be having it at St. James this year. Because St. John's was incapacitated this year. But what it is, it's an opportunity for, us to give back to our donors and the players, to just really, spearhead and kick off the event. So we have a nice big, gathering that night, and then come Thursday morning, June 8th, the things really start to ramp up with the tournament itself down at Holiday Valley, and we're there for 3 days, finalizing that on the 10th with our dinner dance that we've been having as part of the finale for this tournament since its inception.
And really, for anyone out there that would like to participate or even show up and show support, how could they do that?
Well, and we've talked about this, and we always keep our fingers crossed, and it just seems like that the bad weather seems to gravitate towards our tournament. It's been legendary over the years, some of the storms that have rolled through. But when it's really nice down there, we get a lot of people from the community that come down. The facilities at Holiday Valley are second to none. They're able to utilize the pool down there. We have a buffet that we feed people down there for 3 days. As far as people getting into the tournament, there are some rules that people have to engage in to be able to apply to get in, and that is something that they can certainly go on our website, iacharitigolf.com, to learn a little bit more how to become actively on the list to be able to get into the tournament.
All right, and that's all the time we have for today, but thank you for coming down and talking to us.
Thank you, and thank you for bringing attention to this wonderful event.
Well, next, take me out to the ball game. We hear more about the biggest surprise to an even bigger baseball fan.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
One of the Jamestown's Tarp Skunks' biggest fans got an even bigger surprise on Tuesday evening. Now, Vinny had messaged the Tarp Skunks on the regular, asking when the season is starting and if he can get a picture with mascot Whiffy the Skunk. Our Alyssa Wright spoke to family friend Melissa Paternetti, who decided to surprise Vinny with a season ticket, joined by friends, the teams themselves, and even our own crews.
So I had reached out to some friends who were going to buy some tickets because Vinny is hopefully going to throw out the pitch on July 23rd at Christmas in July. So I reached out, my friends bought some swag, and then they were going to buy some tickets but at the same time, we just thought that we would do something nice for Vinny. Dave Wolfong ended up purchasing a season ticket, and then the Tarp Skunks came in and said that because Vinny can't come by himself, we will buy a season ticket for his mom.
Paternetti explains the dedication Vinny has for the baseball team.
Vinny has been a Tarp Skunks fan they've been here for 4 years, played for 3, so every day he wants to see the Tarp Skunks, he wants to play, he makes his mom drive by the stadium, when are we going to get tickets? He even has the game written on the calendar and crossed off all the way to that day, to June 1st.
While the surprise itself didn't turn out to be quite what was expected, it seems Vinny was still very appreciative of the gesture.
It was a great collaboration. We really wanted it to be a surprise, and he talks about Whiffy every day, so it was like, oh, perfect, we'll just have and be a special thing, and unfortunately Vinny was a little scared.
In the end, Paternetti and those collaborating were happy that they could make this happen.
I just want to thank everybody. I want to really thank the Tarp Skunks because, without them, one season ticket wouldn't have been enough.
The end goal for Paternetti and the Tarp Skunks is to have Vinny throw the pitch for the Christmas and July game that will happen this summer at Dietrich Stadium. From Jamestown, New York, Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
Thank you very much, and we were both there alongside, and it really was a great day.
It was great he was able to get those tickets. I know he was a little scared of Whiffy, but maybe he'll be able to see him during the season.
I wouldn't want to be sprayed by a skunk either, so. But really, the baseball fan here, made you really want to go out.
And we had nice weather last night for it, too.
We did. It was quite a nice event, and really, hats off to you, Vinny, and everyone else that's supporting him. It really was a nice time to see him go out there and be happy about baseball of all things. Missy was talking to us. You could have chosen to go anywhere, Disneyland, but it's the Tarp Skunks. That's what he loves so much. And
We
their
only have
season.
1 week left. Starts next Thursday.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely have a story for that with you, but that will be a tomorrow problem because that is all the time we have for today. But we will leave you with this live look over Chautauqua Lake.